welcome back. So on today's session, we'll be combining everything we've learned so far to create a component on a website which is popularly known as the card and also a button. So these are the two things we'll be recreating. We'll be recreating this particular component and also this button. We'll be starting with the button, then we proceed to recreating this. So I'll be deleting what we're having here on the screen. To create a button, we first of all use the rectangle tools here. Then all I need to do is drag and drop it to whatever shape you want. So I think I want this size of a button. So for this particular button, you notice it's having what is called the border radius. This is having a border radius, and we earlier saw how we can add a border radius. So for us to do that, I'll be clicking on this tools, then I'll go to the shape here. So I'll be adding 20 to see the effect. I think 20 is not much. Let's go to 100. So adding 100 now automatically give me these sharp edges. So all I need to do is to change the background color of this button. So for me to do that, I'll be using this icon here. Then I'll just pick any of the colors. So for us to explore other colors, I'll just use the blue sign here. Then try to scroll down. So you can just pick any color. Then now I'm having something that looks like a web button. So I'll be adding a text inside to indicate what the button is for. So I'll be using the text tool. Then I'll click here and then indicate login or register. So let's use the register. In case your text is not as big as this, don't worry, you just need to click on the text, then go back inside the right hand panel. You're going to see the font family. So for the font family, let's say I'm picking something else, so I can just pick, let's pick this and just see this port story. Then I'll be increasing the font width to, let's say, 100. Then after that, we just pick the font weight, but I think that's a poor choice of font family. Let's look for Times New Roman. That's the popular one we've been using even from Microsoft Word, Times New Roman. So if I pick that, you see I have a new font family. So when I drag this tries to place the whole design at the center. So I think with that, we're done with the register button. If you're not comfortable with this, you can reduce the width of this to 40 or let's say 70 to get something better. So we're done with this particular design of the button. So our next target is the card here. So we want to recreate this. So the first thing we do is we pick the rectangle tools, then we just draw this to create any shape we want. So you can make it any length you want. So for this, I am comfortable with this. So the next thing I want to do is I want to add a shadow to this. So I'll be clicking on the effect here. So by default, I'm having a shadow. So we said normally I will increase this to 10. Then I'll change the blur to 20. I will increase the spread to 2. So once I'm having that, you notice it's becoming a little bit better, but then it's somehow blurry. I'll be selecting this, then change the color to white. I'll be changing the color to white, so I can just pick this white here. So after picking the white, you notice that the effect is fully back here. We're having the effect. So the next thing I want to do is I want to add an image to this. So I would use the place image, but this time I'm going to create a rectangle that is of the same width with this. So you notice that once it's of the same width, we get this particular red arrows. So I'll do that here. So I'll just make sure this is also aligned. This is also aligned. So after this, the next thing I want to do is I want to place my image, but this time now we're placing it on this first shape. So for us to do that, we can right click, or let's just use the Figma tool here. Then we use the file, then place image. So I'll be looking for any random image on my desktop, then I'll just add that to the project. So preferably let's look for something good. So please, I think I'll be skipping this, so I'm just picking this particular image. So you're just taking time to add the image, so I'll be using that here. So the moment I drop that, you see it takes up that particular shape of the second rectangle we created. So the next thing is to add our text. So we'll be adding the text here, new fashion. So we reduce the font weight to, let's say, 50. New fashion. I'll try to align it. Then I'll just type in any text here. So for the sake of this, I'll just copy the text here, then add a new text here, then I'll just paste it here. So but hopefully if you don't have any text, you can just type it. Then for the button, you know, we already have a button here. So all I need to do is I'll just duplicate this, Ctrl D, then I'll drag it here. But if you notice that this button is now under this shape, that's because we created this button before creating this. So now on the left hand side, I would try to drag this button, that's the current button now, to the top. So now it's at the top. So you notice it's at the top. So we'll be using the shift key to reduce the button. So I'm using shift, try to reduce this, then I'll just drag this here, then I will reduce the width. So no need to use the shift because we are just reducing the width. Then after dropping this here, I'll just reduce this again, then try to do this. So here now what I want to do is I'll zoom out, then just type in any text. So like read. So this time I'm using the read. We're telling the visitors that they can actually read our blog page. So I'll just center this. So to zoom out, you use Control, then you scroll up on your mouse. So if you notice, we've successfully created that particular card and we have all the designs the same. So congratulations, this is our first complete component. So on the next project, we'll be creating something better than this.